Fei to the commercial street to help her buy some things. There were many high-end brand stores here, and seeing a Parisian store, he took her inside, with an assistant accompanying them. This was a high-end mall, so even if Liu Yifei was recognized, it wouldn't be a big deal. At most, someone might want to take a photo with her. Liu Yifei had a good temper and was happy to oblige. She enjoyed the treatment of a big star, and as she selected items and took photos with fans, Qin Fei smiled. He let her take her time because he didn't mind spending money in these shops, no matter how much they charge for limited editions. Even if a pair of stockings cost hundreds of thousands of RMB, he wouldn't even frown. While accompanying Liu Yifei shopping, he also handled matters related to the Qin Group. As the company's boss, Zhao Liang had helped him find a few secretarial assistants. He was dealing with various company affairs, and he had invested in a few companies that the Qin Group was managing. So, this time he came to get an understanding of his company's development situation. Report to me about the company's recent profits and any recent happenings, he said. The three female secretarial assistants looked nervous, knowing this was a work assessment, and they presented the prepared documents. They began their report. Boss, recently we have filmed 3 movies with a total investment of about 150 million renminbi, including promotions and releases. Our profit is 1 billion renminbi, with an income of 850 million renminbi, which includes some advertising revenue and box office earnings. After deducting employee salaries and star remuneration, the company's net profit is 700 million renminbi. Earning 700 million renminbi in one go was quite impressive, considering the company was still developing with just 3 movies. In the future, if they increased the number of films, profits could double, or a blockbuster could bring in tens of billions in profits. Of course, this was just the return on investment for the entertainment company. His other investments were still developing. For example, he inquired about the situation with Alibaba Pictures, which he was most concerned about. How is Alibaba Pictures doing recently? The female assistant exchanged glances, her expression anxious as she spoke up. Boss, actually there is something we need to report to you. Qin Fei's expression turned puzzled. Oh, what is it? The female assistant smiled wryly and explained, it's like this, our expenses for Alibaba Pictures have been quite high recently, and Mr. Ma has requested an investment of 200 million renminbi. Although the app has launched and connected with major cinemas to start selling tickets, the revenue has been minimal. As of now, Mr. Ma says they are still operating at a loss and plans to sell part of the shares. Qin Fei frowned, his expression changing. What do you mean? Alibaba Pictures is still in the red, and they want to sell my shares, diluting my equity? The 3 assistants nodded, and Qin Fei understood. Indeed, he had encountered a problem. After all, not all capitalists are kind. Some could be quite disgusting. Just because he invested, it didn't mean they would remember his kindness. Instead, they might even sabotage him, claiming losses despite profits. Not only did they want more investment, but they also planned to trade away his shares for more funding. Qin Fei realized that this other Mr. Ma had no good intentions. If he didn't give him a lesson, this person would really become arrogant, wanting to encroach on a share of the profits. He couldn't help but sneer coldly. I understand now. Help me contact him. I want to talk to him and see what tricks he is playing. The 3 female assistants went to arrange this. And Qin Fei watched Liu Yifei finish selecting her items, then stepped forward to help pay. He spent 1.8 million renminbi on several gifts for her. 1.8 million wasn't a lot, considering Liu Yifei was a big star and her items couldn't be low-end. Having bought her a lot, Liu Yifei was even more delighted, wrapping her arms around his and feeling incredibly sweet. Dad, I'm a bit hungry. When are we going to eat? Qin Fei smiled and replied, all right, I happen to have a meeting nearby at a 5-star hotel. Let us book a standard room. First, let my baby fill her stomach. Liu Yifei happily agreed. She was really hungry since she hadn't eaten anything since early morning, just coming to shop. After shopping, she wanted to fill her belly, and they got in the car and headed to a nearby 5-star hotel. An assistant had already helped book a table. Upon entering the private room, it was large and beautifully decorated. It was clearly not just for 2 people, and Liu Yifei was curious about who Qin Fei was meeting this time. While ordering food, she asked Qin Fei what he wanted to eat, showing concern and intimacy, just like a couple. Dad, what do you want to eat? I don't know what you like. Qin Fei calmly awaited the arrival of someone, saying lightly, "Whatever you eat first. I'll wait until the person arrives." Lu Yifei looked curious. "Dad, who are you waiting for?" Qin Fei remained silent, but soon after, the door to the room was pushed open. Ma Yun walked in, surprising Lu Yifei, but she recognized him since he had been promoting in the mainland recently. His Alibaba enterprise was indeed impressive, with assets continuously appreciating. Online shopping had fully opened up, and they had entered the entertainment industry, creating the formidable Alibaba Pictures. Lu Yifei had learned about the name of that film company and had always admired it, but she didn't expect that he was actually under Qin Fei. Everything was a result of Qin Fei's investment. Seeing the big boss greet him with a smile, he respectfully said to Qin Fei, "Mr. Qin, I didn't get the news about your visit to the mainland this time. I'm really sorry. Otherwise, I would have arranged for someone to pick you up. By the way, Mr. Qin, our online shopping has reached sales of several hundred million, tens of millions a day. We are currently the hottest." Qin Fei showed no happiness, but rather looked at him calmly, sneering. "Mr. Ma, I recently heard that you are looking for other partners to buy my shares. You also don't want to disclose the profits of Alibaba Pictures. What do you mean by that?" Ma Yun's expression changed, his face fluctuating. The old fox quickly smiled and said, "Mr. Qin, you misunderstood. I want the company to have a more promising development. You don't know. I found a few film companies like China Film and Hawaii. Both are interested in joining. They only need 30 of the shares and are willing to invest 20 billion renminbi. This wasn't just a matter of money. He currently held the most shares. If they wanted 30 of the shares, it would definitely have to come from him. 20 billion renminbi for 30 of something that could be worth tens of billions or even trillions in the future. How could he agree? Most importantly, he wanted to sell his shares without consulting him. Claiming it was for the company's good only made Qin Fei continue to sneer, his gaze icy as he looked at him. He put a lot of pressure on Ma Yun, who expected that this young man could exert such pressure that he couldn't even breathe. Qin Fei decisively spoke. "The shares I hold will not be sold to anyone else. This is my equity. Whether to sell or not is my business. Selling my shares without consulting me is a violation of the contract." The other party was relying on their power in Hong Kong, thinking it would be hard to control things in the mainland, so they played small tricks. Ma Yun's expression changed upon hearing his words, and he took a deep breath, realizing he could only speak up. "Mr. Qin Fei, China Film and Hawaii are two major giants. Opposing them is not beneficial for the company's development, and it is also not good for your Qin group. You should think it over." Qin Fei laughed, a big laugh that ended with a cold, indifferent gaze. "Oh, are you threatening me?" On the surface, the other party seemed to be advising him, but upon closer listening, it became clear they intended to threaten him, deliberately involving these two companies to intimidate him, using their reputation in the mainland entertainment industry to pressure him. Their goal was to force him to hand over his shares. The reason was simple. They had seen the future of Alibaba Pictures, which might be even more formidable than Taobao. The profits were substantial, but a large portion of that money would need to be shared with Qin Fei. The small portion he would receive was pitiful, leading to his unwillingness to work for others. This was why they planned to pull in others to share the profits in his hands, which was why they offered a 20 billion acquisition price. But Qin Fei wasn't interested at all. He coldly laughed and looked over with icy disdain. "I will not sell my shares, and let me warn you, if you try any tricks, I can find someone else to replace you at any time. When that happens, even if I hand over Alibaba Pictures to my girlfriend Qian, it won't be yours." After saying that, he glanced at Lu Yifei beside him, who was dumbfounded and completely stunned, unable to believe Qin Fei's words. Ma Yun in front had a pale face, trembling all over, unable to suppress his clenched fists, clearly unwilling. He was unwilling to let what he held be taken away like this. He glanced at Qin Fei with a difficult expression, and in the end, could only grit his teeth and say one last thing before leaving. "Mr. Qin, I think this matter should be discussed with the heads of the other two companies." After saying that, he turned and left, clearly angry. Qin Fei frowned tightly, realizing this guy had really grown wings and was planning to fly away. Lu Yifei leaned closer, gently comforting him. "Fei, don't be angry. This guy is too much, wanting to give your shares to others. However, I've heard that China Film and Hawaii are very powerful. Do we really want to oppose them?" Chapter 105. He is definitely not someone to mess with. Qin Fei sneered continuously. He was never someone to be trifled with. Anyone wanting to impose on him should think twice about their own capabilities. He had once forced the Li family to leave Hong Kong due to his dissatisfaction. Not to mention the two major domestic entertainment companies, China Film and Hawaii Brothers. What were they to him? He knew very well that these two companies were powerful. But did that mean he was any less formidable? Qin Fei ignored them completely and simply told Liu Yifei to eat first and fill her stomach. He would handle the matter himself. Liu Yifei was still a bit worried, but the dishes were served, and seeing the exquisite food, her hunger took over. She enjoyed a hearty meal with Qin Fei. Afterward, Qin Fei took her home. Although Liu Yifei was reluctant to part, he had other matters to attend to and needed to meet other people. He gently patted her head and said, "Be good. I'll come find you when I have time." Liu Yifei nodded, kissed his cheek, and waved goodbye. Her reluctant expression made Qin Fei feel quite accomplished. He had never imagined that one day he could make such a celestial-like star fall for him. His charm was growing, and his achievements were even greater than in his previous life. His current resources were much stronger than in his past life. He had established the Qin Group, which was significantly more powerful than before. However, he was not satisfied with his current status. He loved the feeling of complete control. Even a giant enterprise like Penguin was under his control. Why would he share his benefits with others? It was simply impossible. No matter who came, they wouldn't be able to take away his profits. He made a phone call, as he had finally returned and naturally wanted to catch up with Zhao Liying, who missed him a lot. On his first day back, he had to see her. Otherwise, she would blame him for not caring about her. Early in the morning, he woke up in Zhao Liying's luxurious villa bedroom, where a woman was tenderly looking at him. On the surface, she was about to become a first-line star with millions of fans. Yet at home, she displayed a very virtuous and loving wife demeanor. Seeing him wake up, she sweetly said, "Ah Fei, I've made breakfast. When are you going to eat? I haven't had breakfast with you in a long time." Qin Fei yawned and let Zhao Liying help him get dressed. He was surprised that breakfast was made by her own hands. It showed her thoughtfulness. As he ate, they chatted about some matters. "Have you heard about Ollie Pictures? How much do you know about China Film in Hawaii?" Zhao Liying smiled gently. As someone in the entertainment industry, she certainly knew. These two entertainment companies are well known. Many films are financed by them. To put it simply, they control over 80 of the movies in mainland China. That means about 80 of mainland films and TV dramas are related to them. Exactly. These two companies are the most powerful in mainland China. No wonder that Ma Yun wants to ally with them to compete against you. She has long been plotting against me, and it's not something an ordinary entertainment company can handle. She directly brought in these two giant companies as her backing. Noticing Qin Fei frowning, Zhao Liying affectionately fed him food and continued to smile. "Ah Fei, no matter how powerful they are, they can't compare to you. Everyone knows that now in Hong Kong, only 3 families remain. Li Chaoren has been driven overseas by you. What are these two entertainment companies?" With a dismissive pout, Zhao Liying appeared unconcerned. Compared to the financial power of the 4 major families, these two entertainment companies were simply insignificant. While she was intimately eating breakfast with Qin Fei, she shared some information with him. "I think the two companies Mr. Ma is looking for are definitely Mr. Chun and Mr. Wang. Chun Kong and Wang An Kong were the representatives, but behind the two companies were countless shareholders, and some were wealthy businessmen from Hong Kong. Indeed, many wealthy individuals from Hong Kong were investing in mainland entertainment companies." Listening to Zhao Liying report some information, Qin Fei just smirked. He wasn't afraid of the two companies taking action against him. If Emma didn't receive a lesson, she wouldn't behave. To make them understand the gap in strength, Qin Fei planned to take Zhao Liying to meet the representatives from the two entertainment companies who wanted to buy Ollie Pictures. After finishing their meal, Zhao Liying returned to being Qin Fei's assistant. She even postponed her advertising shoot. She preferred her previous position as Qin Fei's assistant. If given a choice, she would rather not be a first-line star and just be Qin Fei's personal assistant. It was rare for them to be alone together, and she was very happy. This time, she truly had to thank that Ma Yun for causing trouble. Otherwise, she would have had so much time to spend with Qin Fei. The two got out of the car and arrived at Qin's entertainment company, where there was an office building and one department was responsible for Ollie Pictures. Originally, Ali Pictures was under Qin Fei's control, so it was incorporated into Qin's entertainment company. Now that Ma Yun had brought in two major entertainment giants, she aimed to split Ali Pictures away. As soon as Zhao Liang got out of the car, she hugged Qin Fei's arm intimately, not caring if the company employees saw, as if afraid they didn't know Qin Fei was her boyfriend. Accompanying Qin Fei into the company, she pressed closer to him in the presence of the employees' gazes. They took the elevator to the Ali Pictures department, where people were already waiting for his arrival to discuss the shares of Ali Pictures. Seeing Qin Fei and Zhao Liang, a secretary hurriedly approached with a changed expression. "Boss, Miss Zhao, someone has come to our company saying they have important matters to discuss with you. They brought Mr. Ma with them and are waiting for you in the office." The visitors were significant, from two giant entertainment companies. The secretary was also shocked at the sight of the two representatives. China Film and Hawaii had a prestigious standing in the entertainment industry. Who would dare to oppose them? The heads of the two companies needed to be treated with utmost caution by anyone in the entertainment circle. Qin Fei knew they had arrived. He waved his hand calmly. I'll go see with Liang. You don't need to worry about this. I'll handle it." The secretary nodded in agreement, and Qin Fei took Zhao Liang to his office. There were already two people waiting there. Upon seeing Qin Fei, Ma Yun was the first to show a provocative expression, her gaze carrying a hint of smugness. Now that she had someone backing her up, the two people beside her were heavyweight figures. Chun Kong and Wang Ankong were representatives of the two entertainment giants. Noticing Qin Fei's arrival, they first assessed him, especially focusing on the closeness between him and Zhao Liang. Confirming Qin Fei's identity, they stood up and greeted him with neither humility nor arrogance. "Mr. Qin, we represent China Film and Hawaii Brothers to discuss a business deal with you. I believe Mr. Qin will be very pleased and feel honored to secure cooperation with our two companies." Their tone was quite grand, starting off by stating that he should feel happy and honored. This was clearly an attempt to elevate themselves while trying to seize his shares and maintaining a lofty demeanor. Qin Fei sneered coldly, snorting lightly, and took a seat in the boss's chair with Zhao Liang standing gently behind him without saying anything. However, his gaze swept over the two, landing on one of them, which made Ma Yun feel a bit pressured. But she was prepared with her rhetoric, especially with two strong backers present. He smiled and leaned in, saying, "Mr. Qin, both major companies are very willing to fund us now. They plan to buy another office building right in the Magic City. By then, our Alibaba Pictures will be even bigger, with a brighter future. They even said they could guarantee a tenfold increase in Alibaba Pictures' online box office. The other party has the strength to say such things. As long as they're willing to promote, it's not just a tenfold increase, but 100-fold is possible." Qin Fei remained coldly amused, completely ignoring the other party and just looking at the two representatives in front of him. He said mildly, "I wonder if you two have heard of me and know my reputation?" The two exchanged glances, clearly from the mainland, completely unaware of Qin Fei's fame. To them, he was just a speculative investor from Hong Kong who had seized an opportunity, invested a bit, and gained good resources. Now, they were willing to offer 50 billion renminbi for a portion of the shares. It was quite generous, but Chun Kong couldn't hold back. He stepped forward, his expression serious, and said, "Mr. Qin, the two major companies are willing to finance 50 billion renminbi for just 30 of the shares, and you can still retain a large share. Moreover, of that 50 billion, at least 20 billion renminbi would be yours, which is not higher than your original investment." Even Wang Ankong nodded slightly, smiling. In fact, Mr. Qin has already made a huge profit, with the two major film companies investing so much money. If you sell your shares, they could be worth several hundred billion RMB. Your investment has yielded dozens of times. Such an opportunity is hard to find. Indeed, looking at the money being offered, he could profit even more. If he sold all his shares, he could still get several hundred billion RMB. This was much more than his initial investment of less than 10 billion renminbi. Wasn't it? But Qin Fei knew that this film industry would be worth trillions of RMB in the future. It was naive to think he could be dismissed for just a few hundred billion RMB. He looked grim and uncertain, saying, "A few hundred billion RMB? I originally invested in this company to profit tens of trillions of RMB. To be honest, If you two entertainment companies were a bit more generous and offered tens of trillions of RMB, I might consider selling directly to you." As soon as the words left his mouth, the expressions of the two executives changed dramatically, and their faces turned extremely ugly. Tens of trillions of RMB? Not to mention whether the combined value of the two major companies even reached that amount. Chapter 106. It's not easy to silence him with 1 trillion renminbi in funds. Qin Fei could easily restructure several Alibaba pictures. Now, the 50 billion renminbi already offered is considered a high price, and it's not even available all at once. It needs to be released in several installments. The first time, only 20 billion renminbi will be given, and it will gradually increase. Now, this guy opens his mouth and asks for 1 trillion. The faces of the two men darkened, clearly dissatisfied. "Mr. Qin, what do you mean by this? 1 trillion renminbi? If you're saying that, you're not really interested in negotiating, are you? If we were willing to offer 1 trillion renminbi, we wouldn't need to negotiate with you. We could just open a few film companies ourselves and make it work." Their expressions were grim, filled with anger as they looked at Qin Fei, who remained calm in the face of their displeasure. He sneered, "This film company is worth that much to me. To be honest, you two want to acquire 30 of the shares for 50 billion renminbi. It's just wishful thinking. You probably don't know that I've invested in another company, Penguin, which listed in Hong Kong and made this amount of money on the first day of trading. The stock sold on the first day reached this amount. You guys think you can acquire it for 50 billion? You're overestimating yourselves." He didn't lack this money and didn't want to give up his rights to others. Qin Fei's words made the two men's faces fall. After all, their companies had given strict orders to secure 30 of Alibaba pictures at all costs. But now the other party didn't want to negotiate at all and looked down on the 50 billion acquisition funds. They were furious. Chen Kong and Wang Onkong were enraged, glaring at Qin Fei and gritting their teeth. "Mr. Qin, are you trying to go against our two major film companies? Do you really dare to do that? What benefit do you get from opposing us? In the mainland, it's still our China Film and Hawaii that are the strongest. You, a Hong Kong person, really dare to offend our two major film companies?" Their faces were displeased, and they clearly expressed their dissatisfaction with Qin Fei's attitude. Before Qin Fei could respond, Zhao Liying, who was beside him, couldn't hold back and let out a cold snort. She looked at the two executives with indifference and coldly said, "Our boss is from Hong Kong, but you should check our boss's reputation in Hong Kong. Let me tell you, going against our boss won't end well for you." The two men couldn't take it in and laughed coldly at Zhao Liying's words, unable to suppress their laughter. "He's just an ordinary speculator. How could he threaten us at China Film in Hawaii? He's just lucky to have invested in good companies. We were originally cooperating with you out of courtesy. Not that we owe you anything. It was supposed to be a happy collaboration, but now you want to monopolize the profits? You should ask for our two major film companies' opinions." Qin Fei also smiled and coldly replied, "I like to eat alone. I don't like sharing my things with others." It was clear he had no intention of selling his shares or sharing the benefits of Alibaba Pictures. The two men now understood that the other party had been deliberately playing them from start. As representatives of two major entertainment giants, how could they accept this? Looking at Qin Fei's arrogant face, they both snorted coldly and left after dropping a parting remark. "Mr. Qin, you'll regret this." Mr. Qin, not cooperating with us and wanting to monopolize the profits won't be so easy. Just wait and see." After saying that, the two left, truly infuriated. Where would the two major film companies go? They were the leaders in the entertainment industry, and no one dared to provoke them. But this guy was unyielding, which made them furious, and they planned to report back to their shareholders. This Qin Entertainment Company was truly asking for trouble. Once Chen Kong and Wang Onkong left, Ma Yun, who had been watching, had an uncertain expression. He didn't expect Qin Fei to be so tough. Up until now, he still hadn't planned a hand over Alibaba Pictures' profits, which surprised him. However, he certainly wouldn't give up so easily. "Mr. Qin, Alibaba Pictures needs a future. For the future, I must ensure cooperation between the two major entertainment giants. Don't blame me. This is for my company's future." After saying that, he also turned to leave. Qin Fei didn't pay any attention, but Zhao Liying was very angry. She didn't expect these guys to be so unreasonable. They wanted to take their profits, and she couldn't stand it. "Ah Fei, these people are too much, especially this Ma Yun. We used to invest in him, Otherwise, how could he have his current status? Now he wants to burn the bridge after crossing it. This guy is too despicable. Qin Fei's expression remained calm as he said lightly, "That's how capitalists are. After all, Alibaba Pictures has great potential. He knows that now. If they are willing to break ties over a few hundred billion RMB in profits, we must teach them a lesson. Otherwise, they will really think they can walk all over me." Zhao Liying looked worried and still felt anxious that the two giants would put pressure on their entertainment company. If that happened, the company would be in trouble. Qin Fei, however, was at ease. Sensing Zhao Liying's worry, he gently held her hand, patting it to comfort her. "Don't worry, I have a way. Don't forget, I have a reputation in Hong Kong. I may not be that powerful, but I can still gather support." After saying that, he pulled her into an embrace. Zhao Liying nodded and nestled against Qin Fei. Only Qin Fei held her, feeling interested, and whispered in her ear. She blushed slightly but soon looked at him flirtatiously, fulfilling a small request of his and unlocking a scene. At this moment, Chen Kong and Wang Ankong returned to China Film and Hawaii, reporting the situation to the major shareholders. Not being able to acquire 30 of Alibaba Pictures, along with the 50 billion investment, had drawn disdain from the other party. The internal shareholders were very angry. With the strength of their two major entertainment companies, which domestic film group wouldn't treat them with respect. They would actively seek collaboration. Little did they know, this guy was unwilling to cooperate and openly stated he wanted to monopolize the profits. This Hong Kong speculator is really overestimating himself. He thinks he can do anything. But they should know that the mainland entertainment scene still revolves around us, China Film and Hawaii. A mere Hong Kong speculator dares to go against us? He really thinks he has any ability. Send out the message that anyone in the entertainment industry is not allowed to advertise for his company. Also, no films should be shot with actors from Qin Entertainment. Chen Kong and Wang Ankong couldn't help but laugh at all this. The major shareholders stated that once these messages were released, Qin Entertainment would have a hard time in the mainland. In the mainland entertainment industry, connections are everything. Many advertising companies and TV drama crews are intertwined. The major advertising companies are backed by local TV stations, which are also connected to TV drama crews. China Film and Hawaii are the major investors in many TV dramas, providing the funds for investment. Now, to shut down an entertainment company is not just a matter of a single word. Following the shareholders' orders, Chen Kong and Wang Ankong planned to give Qin Entertainment a taste of their own medicine. Once the message was out, Qin Entertainment would be thrown into chaos. With profits dropping by more than 50, they could kick the company out of the mainland entertainment circle, and then Alibaba Pictures would be theirs for the taking. In the afternoon, Qin Fei played games with Zhao Liying for a while before leaving the office. As soon as it came out, someone reported the situation of their entertainment company being banned by several TV stations. Along with that, several advertisements that Zhao Liying received were also canceled. "Boss Zhao, 3 out of the 5 advertisements of Miss Zhao have been canceled. At this rate, our company's revenue will decrease by at least 50, and profits will be cut in half. If the impact expands, it will be even more unfavorable for us." Qin Fei did not expect the influence of China Film and Hawaii to be so significant, but he was not nervous at all. He calmly said, "Don't worry. First stabilize the internal situation of the company, inform a few directors of the truth, and don't panic. I will resolve this matter as soon as possible." The other party nodded, feeling helpless. "Our reputation in the mainland is quite good now. With this disturbance, I'm afraid many mainland TV stations won't want to cooperate with us. It's really not good to have a falling out with the TV stations." Qin Fei understood where the power of China Film and Hawaii lay, which was in these local TV stations. However, he was not worried, smiling playfully. "Since they want to play, I'll play along. At most, we'll both suffer losses. I want to see who will lose more." After saying that, he planned to contact TVB in Hong Kong and, relying on his fame, create some trouble for China Film and Hawaii. He took Zhao Liying with him, as she had no advertisement shoots and could accompany him back to the villa. He didn't forget to reach out to TVB and contact the mainland TV stations to reveal his identity. TVB has a significant influence in Hong Kong and also impacts the mainland. Because of previous collaborations and investments in dramas, it could still play a role. He had the person in charge of TVB help him make connections. Knowing that he was the chairman of TVB, the TV stations in Beijing, Shenzhen, and the entire Shanghai area immediately apologized.